The challenges of the Department of Education with distance learning is further compounded by the recent typhoons. From schools serving as temporary shelters for evacuees in quarantine facilities to damages incurred by school facilities as well as educators themselves being victims of the calamity, the DepEd assures it will continue working with the LGUs and the national government to address the needs of students, teachers, and the communities as well. Kenneth Paciente reports.
Even schools were greatly affected by Super Typhoon Rolly. In these pictures, some schools' structures didn't survive the strong winds brought about by the typhoon, especially those schools situated in the Bicol and CALABARZON regions. Based on the data of the Department of Education, more than 1,000 classrooms sustained some sort of physical damage. 138 are those totally damaged. 289 had major damages, while 609 had minor damages. More than 800 schools now serve as evacuation centers. But Education Secretary Leonor Briones said that in fact, schools should not be used as evacuation centers. But in times of calamity or disaster, this cannot be avoided. But the department pleaded to the LGUs to be careful in doing such, since some schools are also being used as quarantine facilities amid the pandemic.
It does not make any sense at all to mix quarantine centers and evacuation centers. It's either one or the other, or they have to be safely distanced and they have to pass the standards and the requirements.
The DepEd also made sure to provide aid to those teachers affected by the typhoon.
Yung mga organizations mismo sa Department of Education, nagtutulungan sila at hinahanapan niya natin ng paraan dahil as I was saying, in-integrate naman lahat na pondo related to disaster sa isang ahensya.
But how are those learners whose modules were destroyed by the typhoon? The DepEd said,
ang mga kasama po natin sa baba, yung mga principals at mga superintendents ay alam po nila yung gagawin sa mga ganitong sitwasyon. Kalimitan po may mga nahuhugot na mga buffer sa pag-reproduce o yung pong nagamit na kailangan ng mga batang mauuli.
The agency is now working with regional directors and schools division superintendents to closely coordinate with the LGUs to determine if there's a need for temporarily suspension of students' learning activities. Kenneth Paciente for The Nation.